this is still with another thissomebull.com exclusive. You and me have seen today's guest in the cult classic American Pimp, but this man's life has made a complete 360 since then. Not only is this man in the police reform, he is also a successful life coach and a published author. Today we have Andre Taylor, aka Gorgeous Drake. What's happening, brother?
What's up, family?
Oh man, you know,
it's all good.
You got a very like, it's not an interesting story. It's like almost like a movie. We're going to take everybody back to the beginning of your story. Now, you were a pimp in your former life.
Absolutely. Well, you know, let me just give you a little backstory before you go into it. So, yeah, my mom was in the game and my dad was in the game. So that's how I got ultimately involved.
Oh, wow. So what kind of impact did that have on you coming up? Like, what did that do to your psyche?
Well, as a child growing up, being exposed to a lot of things that a little child shouldn't be exposed to, right? It positioned me, I guess. There were some negatives and some positives about it. The negative is that it almost takes a sense of your innocence because you're exposed to so much at a young age. The positive is it prepares you for the world.
Oh, wow. I bet it does. And it's a lot of psychology going on in there, too.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of psychology, you know. So you a little kid, you coming up, man, and you actually at one point became an ordained minister.
I did. I was ordained at 18 years old.
At 18 years old, and that was before you decided to step into pimping. What made you ultimately, because you know, as we all know, the devil is always over our shoulders, bro.
Sure.
Was it that influence that your dad had on you? Because our dads, he was our number one role models in most cases if they're in the house with us. Yeah. Was it because that was the family business, so to speak? Well,
you know, my aunt used to say that what you resist will persist. So I did everything that I could to resist the lifestyle because I was exposed to it at a young age. So when I was growing up, I wanted the squarest life. I dreamed of having the squarest life that I could have, you know. But what you resist will ultimately persist. And so I resisted the life. You know, at a young age, I went and worked for Nordstrom's. You know, I worked for Neiman Marcus in Beverly Hills. You know, I had some little odd man jobs because, you know, it wasn't what I wanted to do. But what you resist persists. And when I came into a crunch financially, and I always realized that I had some insight and some knowledge and also the gift of gab, I utilized that and got into the game.
Oh, wow. So now you 10 toes in. One thing I want to always ask, I'm really good friends with Sugar Free. And, you know, he was in the life. He's no longer involved in it right now. But, you know, he was in the life and we'd be on the road and I'd be talking to him, man. And I would see him dealing with his girls because he would actually have his girls on the road with him going city to city while he was doing the rap shows and stuff, right? And I noticed, man, it was more psychology in the head here more than it was him physically, you know, doing stuff. And I don't think people understand. I think people think it's all about just the gorilla pimping, you know? They don't know it's a lot of psychology and a lot of finesse. And I just look at the way he talked to those girls right there. Now, when you were sending those girls out there, you were actually worried about them. You were worried about their well-being and everything.
Well, but let me kind of give you, you know, let me take you back a little bit. You know, the Black community is a subculture. You know, the pimp game, that life is a subculture within that subculture where there's rules, there's regulations, and there's laws that we believe in, kind of like the mafia. You know, the outside world frowns on it and looks down upon it, but that's a subculture, right? A real world. So in the pimp life, it is also a subculture that has those same criterias and laws. And if you agree to be within this subculture, right, you don't really care about what the outside world thinks. So the outside world has an idea of looking at the game through the lens of maybe rap music or some movies that have tried to depict the real lifestyle, right? So me, you know, having lectured about it in at universities and things of that of sort, I kind of break down the subculture part of it to try to, you know, give some humanity to it. Not to say that this is, you know, a good life, or I think that everybody should participate, or even some people should participate, but you need to understand the subculture, or you'll be on the outside with an idea thinking that every guy is abusive, every guy is trying to attract little young girls, and it's really not like that. Really, in the pimp game, it's a taboo to have a young girl, in my case, I had a young girl, but she had lied to me and, told me that she was 18 and she wasn't. And recently, when I was hired by the mayor to become the city consultant, quote unquote, street czar, that young girl went up and started speaking to the media because the media was saying that I trafficked girls and I did all this and did all that. So the very girl that they talked about went on Fox News locally out here and explained to them that they were lying about me. I hadn't seen her forever. She's like 36 years old now or 38 or something. And she just came out and said that she could not stand the fact that they were trying to tarnish me with some lies. So she wanted to set the record straight. She said that she had lied about her age. So it was just some real powerful stuff that went on. But again, there's a subculture of the game. And there's a lot of guys that might know some of the things, but being able to articulate those things is just a whole different level, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, I mean, I could spend 3 hours here just trying to break down the subculture, the mindset, right? Because everybody thinks that the game has to do with manipulation. But it's the very opposite. True guys that were in the game were Renaissance men. They were men that were truthful and honest because they felt like for them to have to tell a girl a lie, it weakens them. It weakens their manhood, right? So you have to be extremely upfront and forward about who you are, what you do when you present yourself, because if you find yourself lying, then you minimize the manhood that we both talk about. In American Pimp, I think most people were jarred by the fact I was facing life, but that I said that my father taught me you got to be a man first before you're a pimp or a lawyer or a doctor. You got to be a man first. And you wouldn't think that some of this information would be coming from a father who was, quote unquote, a pimp. But those are some of the fundamentals he taught me, man, the principles, honor, integrity, and that's how I grew up.
Well, some of the sharpest guys I knew were pimps. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and I had pimps in my family, uncles, that are still with their bottom female, still with them to this day, got kids, and got married. Some of them own businesses now. They went on, and I saw that when you talk about subculture, they did have a certain set of rules, and I saw those rules were very seldom violated, versus what people see today. You got a lot of the gangsters that have kind of diversified their portfolio and gotten to pimping, and it's a whole different thing than what you guys do. These guys out here, they not just pimps, they pimp / drug dealer / gang banger / hustler.
You can't be that. You can't be that. See, my father used to say when I was younger that pimping is not what you do, it's who you are, right? So there's a lot of people that are, that might have a girl in the game. And again, let me just have a disclaimer here. Our conversation is not for me to promote. My conversation is for us to educate, right? If people really want to know about the subculture of the game, they come to me. If they want novelty and clown stuff, they go to other people. So just understand that it's about to individuals that have really been taught the essence of the game. It's about truth, honesty. It is hard for some people to believe that, but my life shows a record of what I'm saying to you, from the game, to when I was in the feds, to when I got out, and to when I was speaking and lecturing until I did police accountability. It was the same fundamentals that my father taught me that allowed me to have success in every single one of those areas. So these fundamentals apply across the board.
For more content like this and much more, make sure you subscribe to Digital Soapbox Network's YouTube channel. And don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and share. We out of here.